Can you enlighten the audience on how the food we eat is weaponized against us right now?
Well, the food we eat is weaponized against humanity. It just so happens that it's brought into our communities first. But the first most important thing, in fact, here's what I say. Power. This is how I define power. If all of the ShopRites, Stop and Shops, supermarkets, Piggly Wiggly's closed down, could you eat dinner? There are people that work not too far from here on Wall Street. They have a whole bunch of money. They live in a phenomenal apartment, and they make a lot of money.
That's correct.
I knew a sister that was a nutritional staff member. She fed the children. She also fed the teachers. She and her sister had a little house in the Bronx, and in the back they had a garden where they grew tomatoes and cucumbers. My sister that had that had more power than the millionaire.
That's correct.
Because if all those stores closed, no matter how much money you have, if you don't have the ability to go back to the land and draw your food, you're going to starve. And if you're going to starve, you ain't going to live. So agriculture becomes very important. And this is what Malcolm was trying to tell us about owning land and having land. In fact, the word economics, echo, comes from the Greek word oikos, which means home or environment. Economics doesn't mean money. Economics means to know your environment, which was agriculture. When all else fails, even if you're in a project, you can grow something in your windowsill. And so it becomes important to understand that one of the first ways that they will get you is through your food and what you ingest, because you are what you ingest. You become what you digest. And so it becomes important, and I don't come to this table as a saint. I grew up eating pig feet, cold pig feet, hot pig feet, pickled pig feet, chitlin, pork chop.
But the transition is amazing. That's why I asked, what gave you the click to go for the higher consciousness? At what point in life were you at then?
There were a number of steps. I have been a very strict vegetarian now for about 32 years. Okay. I was on and off, but I read a book. It's called AIDS. It's an acronym for Animals and Digestive System by Michael T. Joseph. Michael T. Joseph was an accountant that worked in a slaughterhouse. And his office was on the second floor. And what this brother did was, after 19 years of watching what happened on that slaughterhouse floor, he wrote a book. Couldn't eat no more.
That's enough.
When I heard that they were cutting out cancer tumors and then carving up the meat to send out. When you are a critical thinker, when you have sharpened your reasoning skills, you either will adjust to the new information or you will have cognitive dissonance, which means that you know the truth, it bothers you, but you're going to keep on eating all that pig feet and stuff like that. And I just couldn't go on anymore. Now, what happened was I was following the trial of Dr.Sebi back in the 80s. And I remember I used to get the Amsterdam News on Wednesdays because that's when it was brought out. And I remember October 1st, 1988. I was going through it because they followed the trial. And they said that he was found not guilty. And I said, anytime a court system finds a black man not guilty, I got to know that man. So I went down there on Pacific Street. That Saturday, this was Wednesday. Saturday, I worked my way down to Sebi's Usha Herbal Institute, the Fig Tree. And from that point on, I've been with Dr. Sebi. Now I'm with Sister Ma'at. And, what's interesting is this coming Sunday, we're celebrating Sebi Day.
Really? Where is that going to be located?
That's somewhere in Manhattan.
Okay.
And I've always attended those events because, again, I think that health and nutrition is an area that we just really don't understand. We've removed ourselves from understanding that. And I think that in our excitement to want to find cures for all these diseases, we're misinterpreting what a lot of the herbalists are saying.
I noticed how you broke that down into 2 syllables. Dis-ease.
Yes, a dis-ease. You know, and how simple a dis-ease is. And also how simple the cure for the dis-ease is. But what's even more important is to live a life that you're not searching for the cure because you're not getting the dis-ease, which means prevention. It's not to say that things will not happen, that you will not get sick, that things will, you know, not viruses, illnesses and cancer. You can get all those diseases no matter how dedicated you are to a healthy regimen of eating. But once you know better, you do better.
Correct.
Once I found out what was going on, I did better. I'm at the point now where I'm a vegetarian, and the damage it does to your body is the second reason why I'm a vegetarian. The first reason I'm a vegetarian is for spiritual reasons. Because it goes against my spiritual way of living to have an animal die to satiate my hunger when I know there's so much else I could eat that could do the same thing and do it better. So the reason why I'm vegetarian now is for spiritual reasons. So people say, do you ever see yourself going back to eating meat? It would be very difficult. Very difficult. I never say never, but it would be very difficult because of the nature of the fact that I know that there is a circle of life, and there is a circle of removal of that life. Chickens are here for a reason. You know, cows are here for a reason. Pigs are here for a reason.
Just maybe not the reason we use them for.
That's it. And whatever their reason is, nature will take care of their appearance and disappearance. But one of them should not be interjected by me to take them off the planet because I want to eat them.
Okay.
Then, once they're in your system, now you got a whole nother problem. Because you are what you eat.
Okay.
You eat chicken, you a chicken. You eat pig, you a pig. You are what you eat, and that is very true. And how could it be anything else? Everything that pig experienced is now in your body. And then the way he died, or I should say she, because most of the things we eat are female. We eat chicken. We don't eat the rooster. I mean, they just started eating steer burgers, but for the most part, we eat cow. That's female. Everything we eat, for the most part, is female. And so in that, there's a lack of balance on my aunt. So we have to think about these things. And see, I don't lecture people because, like I say, man, I grew up eating my stuff. And I know how difficult it is because when you learned a learned pattern of behavior where you have learned to enjoy waking up to the smell of bacon, okay? When you go to a place and you see that roast beef, you know,